Good evening, my friends, and welcome back to the next episode of Haven Moon. It's been a hot minute since I've played a game like this. The aesthetics impeccable, the vibe perfect. Maybe it's just because I have an affinity for seaside living, I don't know. But there's something about this that is just so calm. Really love it. Last time out, we opened the laboratory door after working out that actually what's being asked for is not a coordinate, it's a bearing. I might actually write to François Roussel because that's, yeah, unless there's a good reason why the character in the game would make that mistake. I believe that's actually an error. I believe that's possibly a writing error. But we got here in the end, and we have a nice little courtyard to look around. So we've got two spires up here. And then we have a dome over here. So, laboratory is the name of the area. Let's have a little look around the outside first. And the windows here are all super duper bait, right? The windows are bait. At some point there's going to be a puzzle which involves looking from the outside of a window into a room, I'm certain. Oh hey, there's our key. No, did not do a thing. Okay, that doesn't do anything. Here we have a key. Plaque, which appears to have a couple of hinges, but doesn't look like it opens. I shall move my phone, because it's sat there vibrating away directly under my microphone. Sorry about that. It's the library. Oh, meet Suzanne. What, is that the monkey? Okay, well we got an achievement for rounding this corner. What do you think of this library? A whole bunch of nooks looking out. It's not a brilliant view because that wall is a little bit too high, unfortunately. So, yeah. Not convinced by the views, I have to say, but I like the idea of a library composed of a bunch of little nooks that look out on the ocean. Okay, we have a desk with some letters. And that is mostly it for this room. So let's read the letters. I discovered a new island during a boat trip across the stormy zone nearby the base island. The conditions are very bad over there because of incessant rain and storms, but I was able to build a lightning research facility. I have developed a new system that could capture the storm's energy and transmit it to Menra. The lightnings were captured using an antenna grid, each equipped with a condenser that transmits the energy to an electrical cannon. Once triggered, this cannon fires an energy beam directed to a reception antenna on Menra. The conception of this cannon was not an easy task, and during the tests, the beam missed its target more than once, causing major damage on the surrounding area. In addition, some condensers get damaged regularly, producing an erratic current that causes the circuit to break. But the final result exceeds my expectations. It surpasses all of our previous energy production means. Yeah, I did just have to go and double check that, right? Because this is misspelled. I wasn't, yeah, I wasn't imagining it. Cannon has two N's. Unless you are talking about canon as in a rule of law, right? Like the Star Wars canon is one N, but a canon meaning like a gun, that's two N's. So I'm assuming that's a misspelling rather than a clue for later, right? Because it's like, it's not a cannon that shoots anything at all. It's actually something else. But yeah, so I think that's possibly lost in translation. Okay. At the same time, my other experiments on electricity transmission gave unexpected results. I discovered a way to circulate matter in an energy beam. After much research on this phenomenon, I was able to work out a teleporter network allowing instant travel from one island to another. The required amount of energy for teleportation is so high that I had to dedicate a part of the antenna grid to power this system. Here is how the teleporters work. Through an energy beam, all matter contained in a sphere is instantly swapped with the matter contained in another distant sphere. We are abductioning it, people. The beam is positioned using concentrators that must be oriented towards each other, taking into consideration the bounces of the beam in the magnetosphere. To find good orientation coordinates, I added a beam optimal path detection system to the telescope. It indicates which coordinates to use. Just aim the telescope at the destination's teleporter and search for its emitted signal. Teleportation works really well for the Cannon Island and the House Island, although it seems that the storms interfered with the Cannon Island's telescope signal, so I had to manually calculate its coordinates. Since my arrival, I have noticed two strange phenomena. Sometimes a very loud sound coming from the ocean could be heard, followed by a period of complete calm and stillness. I hope to find the cause of this phenomenon. Also, the zone where the islands were set up isn't as calm as I'd expected. Storms are happening more and more frequently, causing a few troubles like the loss of one of the supply transport airships. To take shelter during these storms, I built a house on a high structure which is reinforced with a thick metallic shield. This house can be opened and closed using a pneumatic system that can be activated with a special key. For safety reasons, the activation system and the code of the key safe are hidden. The island's teleporter can also be disabled from the house. Okay, so is what we picked up that key? Presumably not, because the code to the key safe are hidden. Where's the key safe? In the library somewhere? We are definitely going to take screenshots of this whole letter, incidentally, because there's a lot of information in there, particularly these instructions here about how we are calculating trajectories for the teleporter. And I want to be able to refer to these letters easily without having to come all the way back here. Okay, getting there, hang on. There we go. Right, so here's how teleporters work. To find good orientation coordinates, I added a beam optimal path detection system to the telescope. It indicates which coordinates to use. Aim the telescope at the destination's teleporter and search for its emitted signal. Teleportation worked really well for the Cannon Island and the House Island, although it seems that the storms interfered with the Cannon Island's telescope signal, so I had to manually calculate its coordinates. So we might have to fiddle around with that a little bit. So maybe we are supposed to be using that teleporter sooner than I had expected. Now we've got the key. Maybe the key activates the teleporter. Now, safe. Now the safe might be in the house. Well, no, wait, hang on. No, because if we look back at the notebook page, and sorry that the music keeps cutting in and out. Unfortunately, as soon as I Alt-Tab, the game audio just cuts out, which is a bit of a shame. But what do we have? Also, where the islands set up shelter away from the storms, made on a high structure. The house can be opened and closed using a pneumatic system that can be activated with a special key. So we need to find the key first. The key safe is therefore not in the house. Right? Key safe is how you open the house. So, looking for a safe. Looking for a safe. Looking for a safe. You wouldn't have all these books in this book nook unless you were hiding something. Why don't they make books like this anymore, right? You know, I love these old-timey book covers, but they're just not in fashion to the point where basically impossible to acquire. There's a weird shading thing with this game, isn't there? Do you notice as you look around, the shadows on the books move with you? I don't know why that is. I've never come across that in a game before. But okay, well it looks like we don't have anything obvious. Anything behind the door? No. So let's see if we can take this key and go and activate the teleporter then. So we also have a teleporter down here. Now this one doesn't have a little greenhouse that enables you to put any coordinates into it. And it rather appears to not go anywhere immediately. So, back to base, please, cable car. So you need to point the telescope towards the target destination's teleporter, not the target destination's beacon. So if we come up here... No, nothing to be done there. Well, that is pointing pretty much directly that way, isn't it? Is that moving a thing? What's moving? Something is squeaking away, isn't it? I mean, it doesn't seem to be moving this. I don't think. Oh. Oh. That moves it to this location. Right. So if you popped all those back to 0... Aha, and we just have the top one. So then 2 axes of this are going to move back to where they were, presumably. Okay. Is that 70 degrees? It's about 70 degrees, isn't it? Okay. Why do I need 6 coordinates then, though? Okay, we're going to need to experiment with this a little bit. We're going to try and use 90s, because 90's a pretty handy number to work with. So. No, that changed 2 axes. That changed 2 axes, because it lowered it and it moved it round. So if we make that 190 now, nothing. Interesting. But you make it 120. Okay. So let's move to 43. Let's see if that moves it back to 90. So is it whichever... No, that's not it. Oh. So it's not whichever number's the highest. It's like whichever number you fiddled with last. Let's move this one to 0. How curious. Right. So the second number appears to be... Oh, and 90's the maximum. Right, fine. So if you pull it down to 0, where does it go? Yeah, so that's the lowest it can go. It can't actually get down to 0. The lowest it goes is something like a 45. So if we actually explicitly gave it a 45, do you think we would get a 27.5? Maybe. Okay, 45. Yeah, okay. So this one is sort of a factor of 2 kind of situation. Okay, okay. Now let's get to the telescope. Because the telescope is supposed to give us... Whoops, we fell off the stairs. Ah, fell off the stairs again. Okay, there we go. Now, the teleporter's there for that one. Yeah, no, that just opens and closes the shutter. So what we need... Yeah, no, that's just light coming off the thing. So we need to bounce it off the magnetosphere. So it's going to be some number around, I don't know. Like, who can say? Because it really depends on how far away the island is. You know, which we do not have any way of measuring realistically. So we're looking for the signal on the needle to move. And it's definitely not going to be all the way up at 90, because that's going directly upwards. So let's go back down to 0. Now, if we look at this, yeah, we can see that the teleporter... This can't be to scale, right? Because here's the telescope, and on a bearing of 0, 0, 0, you would not see the beacon. Yeah, if this is drawn to scale. Because this is... do you know what? I don't have my scientific calculator on me, so I can't work out the tangent easily. But this is like 1, 2 squares up and half a square over. So you're looking at like an arc tangent of a quarter, which is definitely more than 1 degree. But okay. How far over to the left do you reckon that's... I mean, we'll have a look at the signal to see if the signal moves at all. We're trying to pick up a signal from the teleporter. I mean, unless we're slightly going about it the wrong way. Like, hang on. Let's just have a quick reread of what this letter said, yeah? Because do the teleporters need power before they give us the signal? Let's have a little look. So, discovered a new island. The conditions are very bad over there because of incessant rain and storms, but I was able to build a lightning research facility. The lightnings were captured using an antenna grid, each equipped with a condenser that transmits energy to an electrical cannon. Once triggered, this cannon fires an energy beam directed to a reception antenna. Right. I discovered a way to circulate matter into an energy beam. Work out a teleporter network allowing instant travel from one island to another. The required amount of energy for teleportation is so high that I had to dedicate part of the antenna grid to power the system. Through an energy beam, all matter contained in the sphere is instantly swapped. So yeah, so there's nothing which suggests that we need to go and set the cannon up before we can do this. So, all matter contained in a sphere is instantly swapped. The beam is positioned using condensers that must be oriented towards each other, taking into consideration the bounces of the beam in the magnetosphere. To find good orientation coordinates, I added a beam optimal path detection system to the telescope. It indicates which coordinates to use. Just aim the telescope at the destination's teleporter and search for its emitted signal. Teleportation worked really well for the Cannon Island and the House Island. Okay, so not the laboratory, though it seems the storms interfered with the Cannon Island's telescope signal, so I had to manually calculate its coordinates. So maybe we should go and look for the House Island. Now, sometimes a very loud sound coming from the ocean could be heard, followed by a period of complete calm and stillness. Also, the zone where the islands were set up isn't as calm as I'd expected. Yeah, okay. Moves back to there. So maybe I should be looking at House Island. So, if I move this round here, can you see a beam flickering as it moves in real time? It kind of sort of snaps in, doesn't it? Yeah, and if you move it 1 degree... that's already sort of too far. Okay. How many degrees at most am I going to use? Definitely less than 45, right? Because 45 degrees is going to put it out of here. But it's going to also be definitely more than about 10 or 20 degrees, right? Because 45 is around here. So I would suggest let's start at 45 and work our way down. And see if we can see it. Oh, I was really hopeful that we would see something as it went round there. Still looking. Still looking. It's Cannon Island, you have to calculate the coordinates manually. Because the thing just ain't going to work. But like... I'd say it's definitely going to be more than like 20 degrees. it's just reading it from the map, right? So it's entirely possible its beacon just isn't on. Yeah, okay. It was a bit of a long shot. Oh, you can actually see the beacon from the other island there, so the fact that you can't see them would, yeah, I don't know. What are these things even pointing to on each of these islands anyway? Because that's the door. That's the door to the laboratory. This one's pointing onto the observatory, so that's fine. Obviously, we've not been to Cannon Island. Oh, the house. The beacon's on top of the house. But at this distance, that would almost... You wouldn't even really see that, you know? That would be almost nothing in terms of angle. In fact, the curvature of the planet would probably be a greater effect. It would probably be lower than you'd expect it to be. I mean, I certainly respect the commitment to the bit, right? The fact that we are, yes, I can't get to the house. Yeah, the commitment to the bit. Oh! Cannon is spelt with two N's here. Okay, off we go. So we can get to the cannon, but this is obviously the room that we can't get through. So what do you reckon this key opens? Oh, maybe this key opens up this door, do you think? Because it did look like there was a little keyhole. Hey, okay, we've got a door that we can open. Well, alright. So here's the massive array. We have got... Right, we can move the walkways around. And it's just 90 degrees you can move them, okay. Fine. Don't seem to be able to open that door. Right. Where are we trying to get then? Oh, impressive. Yes, okay. Where are we going? Guardrails still in place. Much appreciated. Right, we have these. So we have these on all of them. Yes. Okay, fine. But what does that mean? What do these do you think? So those are on all of these. And you can turn them 90 degrees. Oh, I like that sound effect, right, of the rain on top of the glass. So we can manipulate the walkways to be able to get out to all of them. But it's not really clear, like, what's an on position and what's an off position for all of them, you know? Right, that's that one moving there. Well, let's assume that we need to turn them all into an on position. And an on position is to turn them to the left. To, like, open it like a valve. Let's assume. So, we need to do this one, which means we need to get one over there. So if I turn on these 4, right, if I go back to the signal strength meter, which was over here, I now have a little bit of power coming through. Okay. Fine. So we can move that one off. So let's move this all round here. Now we might be supposed to be doing this methodically, of course. Right, no, so that one's closed. So we open this one now. And let's come along here. So we've already done that one. And we've done that one. We've already done this one, yeah? Yeah. So we open that, open this. Okay, we did this one as we walked past it, yeah? Okay, so that's all of these here then done. That one, not been done. Yeah, this one has been done. Yes, right, good. This one's been done. Turn that to the left, turn this to the left. Right. Now, that one's not been done, and that one's not been done. So all we need to do is move that gangway, move this gangway, yeah? So that is that one there, and that one there. And how are you going to get out to there? You're going to need this one to have moved. Okay. So we need that one. And we need this one. And all of these should now be open. I don't think I've missed any. So let's go and check. Okay, well we have at least got what we need as minimum power. Did it work? No, I'm assuming that's going to open once it works. So... maybe it's not as straightforward as just turning them all in the same direction. I don't know. Okay. Let's investigate, because I thought that would take us straight up to the 10s, you know what I mean? So that gives us between 5 and 7 on that. So let's close these two, for example. Oh, well now we're a lot more stable. We don't have enough power, but we're a lot more stable for some reason. Well, okay. So let's close a third one. And what happens now? Ah, it hasn't moved. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. This is going to need more experimenting with, but I can't record any more right now. So if you enjoyed this episode, please do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I am looking forward to picking apart this puzzle next time. Have a great week. See you soon.